Hi Dee. This is my project. This is regarding the data programming lab. It is about the stock monitor API that is we are creating for XYZ corporation. So this is our proposal for our new project. This is first of all coming to the project summary that what we are gonna demonstrate here. First of all, the demonstration will be regarding the acquisition of data from the remote source, that is a URL or API, which is being upgraded on a daily basis. Then we have to store the data into a database. After that, we will display the data on a website that will be hosted on a real-time like web hosting, or you can say cloud. Here in our case, we have used Azure, and at the end we have to create the APIs basically that pull the data from our cloud database and show some get API characteristics like get by ID, get by range, or get all. Now coming to our team, so we have a very concrete team of four. First is like myself introducing. This is Bikram Chopra, and I have done bachelor's in from NIT Jalandhar, and I have works 4 years of work experience. Here's Ambika, who's also done bachelor's in electronics and communications. Dikshit, who is has done bachelor's in electrical engineering, and Gagan. He has done bachelor's in computer science. So the team of four, and here is our project. Now in the stock monitor API, our project idea is to build basically a kind of stock monitoring that which particular stock or equity is high or low at that particular time or day, and what is the opening and closing rates, and how the exchange volumes are being taking place. So this demonstration is just a proof of concept, and the project can be scaled up to include more stocks and more data. Okay, so the forecasting can be done and that kind of stuff using the same. Basically, we have pulled the data from our one of the remote source, that is API. We have used Yahoo Finance APIs, Rapid APIs of Yahoo. Here we get the daily stocks information, and it basically offers daily and yearly data. We have pulled a daily kind of data from there, where such here we if we can see that in the code, a module named as get data has been created, in which the URL is for APIs is put, and header and keys are mentioned, and we have give the response data, and we get the data in the JSON format. um, so to get elaborate more, I'm showing you that how our code is basically running. Now, first of all, I gonna show you that this is our major repository in GitHub where the code is residing. In this, basically this has been created on Django platform, just to let you know. And here, if you see that the app's statistics is the major app, and the final project is a major folder. And actually, if I click on statistics, that helps us to create those views or models. So we can see here what is inside it. We have admin.py, models.py, serializer. Basically, this is serializer is for API creation, and views.py. Views.py is basically for creating our UI or modules that will be fetched for when any URL is being hit. So I'm gonna show you what is inside this views.py. So if you see here that in our views.py, we have first of all get data request named module. Okay, now this is basically for testing purpose. If testing is false, then this will basically kicked off this part. What will happen? The request will be taken place, and the when taking the request from this particular URL, we get our data. in the JSON format. Now, let's see that how our models have been generated. I basically tested that whether data is being fetched or not. Once I got approved that yes, the data is fine, then I created the models. Here is our models.py in the statistics folder. Models are basically for creation of tables and you're giving a data dictionary to it. Now, if we see here, I have created the table, class yearly table, which is basically name of my table in the database of Django. Here, product date, index, timestamp, high, low, open, close, volume are the column names. Here, index is basically created for kind of ID, which will be incremented whenever there is a new entry. So I can show you the data here. Now, just to give a preface, basically what I am doing is I am deleting the whole data whenever new entries have been generated, because the whole data has been fetched from the API. So I do a kind of full refresh load here. Now, if we see here, basically I'm fetching the data, and row by row here I am entering the data into the database, into this table, yearly table. And you can see here row.save basically help us to save this data, and when the data has been fetched, it will return that status is success in the JSON. Once this data has been fetched, we have to verify that whether this data is visible in our models.py or not. Then for that, we can see that here, let's switch to our admin part. Now I'm letting you know that how our database is looking like. Okay. Okay, so here we can see that in our yearly table, this is the content. Okay, this the index per product date, timestamp, open, low, high volume columns are being generated, and this is basically for 17th of December, because the data has been fetched just few minutes back. So that is the why it is it is for 17th. Now, okay, coming back to our table, so when this get data has been pulled off, we basically want to show the charts um, on the front end. For that, basically we have created this show charts request kind of uh, module here. This is basically rendering the request to chart.html, and chart.html is using Google Charts for creation of our front page. So this is the content. Here we can see. Now we have to switch to urls.py, basically which particular URLs we have generated. So we have already get this admin one and also the home, so home one. So after show charts, when we get the charts, here is basically how our front page looks like. So first chart basically shows that the variation of equity high and low, and the starting from this particular date. So this date is variable on the basis of our code. The second chart basically represents the variation of equity open and close between those dates. And the last thing is like the exchange volume. So what is the variation of exchange volume between the times? Okay, and this is the time range. Now, the major task here is to refresh the data. So for refreshing the data, first of all on the Azure, we use the SSH part. In SSH, we have scheduled this job, and if I show you that how it is working, let me uh, run the command, that how our code is basically scheduled. Now here you can see that we have scheduling.py. Now, in scheduling.py, we can see that this is a infinite loop, which is basically sleeping after every for basically one day, that is 86,400 seconds. And I have already kicked off this code, so we can check this by using. Now see, here this is the particular command that is being still running in the backend, and this is updating the database on a daily basis. So this is kind of pseudo batch processing. Now coming back to our project. uh, if you I believe that you are definitely very much excited to see our APIs. For APIs, we have created, uh, let me show you our APIs, that how we have created those. For APIs, basically in the views.py itself, the REST framework has been imported. In REST framework, we have created three kinds of APIs. First one is get all, then get by ID, and get by range. So here all the three are visible. Now it is by name, it has been very much sure that get all will basically pull all the data. Get ID will basically pull on the basis of any ID given to it, and get range will we have to specify the range in which we need that data. Now let's see how that is working. Now when I will do get all, here I can see the whole data. Now index is basically a key which is telling this that which particular column is this. Now if I want the data in JSON format, so we can get this data in JSON format as well. Now let's see that how get one API is working. I'm putting only any you can say 20 ID. For 20 ID, you can see that the index 20 is visible. And if I do it for 21, yeah, so index is 21. Now let's say that I want by range. For range, I need to fetch the data get by range. Basically, that I have used a kind of string method that is say for 2. I need to use a 2 as a separator, and then say 11. I need data from index 4 to 11. Then I get this, like this is a index 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. And this in same way we can use these APIs for creating our any kind of coding, or for forecasting kind of thing. So there's a huge scope for this kind of data. Now this is all about our how we have implemented this, how our scheduling has been taken place. Now the major part is that how we have filled our gaps, and how we have done our gap analysis. The basically this you can see our chart that how our gaps we have done our gap analysis implementation of our application. Basically we focused on several areas like innovation, scalability, code readability, and web app UI. In that we have identified the gaps and we have worked over it. So that is a way that we have worked with different kind of strategies and resources and time. Somehow we have faced so many challenges while deploying, but here we are, that we can see here that uh, this particular Azure app is running right now, and there is no backlogs or anything like this, which is showing that our app is running at a very like perfect rate. Fine. So this is all about our project, and Just let us know if there is any questions.